There was a number of undrafted players for the Montreal Canadiens that eventually made the NHL in the 1980s. Now, one of them we're talking about today, a very skilled player that, for a lot of people, got his big break actually in the IHL after his minor hockey career. Of course, we're going to talk about the curious case of Gilles Thibaudeau. Now, Gilles Thibaudeau, a typical Quebecois, a medium-sized forward, 5'10", 165, kind of small for a center. Got a big recognition in the Montreal program when he got affiliated after playing with the Flint Generals of the IHL. He had 97 points in the 85 season. He moved up to the Sherbrooke Canadiens at the end of that season and eventually got a regular term with Sherbrooke, Montreal's main affiliate, in 86, 36 points in 61 games. Now, 87, he had a cup of coffee with Montreal, goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Sherbrooke, 27 goals. Back again, a cup of coffee to Montreal, and he did quite well, actually, 11 points and 5 goals and 6 assists, and really excelled in the playoffs with 6 points. He played a big factor in what I call the late 80s resurgence of Montreal in the regular season or playoffs. Now, 88, he had 39 goals with Sherbrooke. Now, 80-89, he played the full season with Montreal, give or take, 6 goals and 6 assists for 12 points. Now, he didn't play for Montreal in the playoffs, but he was getting a regular turn, and we thought maybe this was going to be, his big break. But he ended up, 1990 was an awful busy season. He split time with 2 AHL teams and the Islanders and the Maple Leafs. He played with Springfield and Newmarket in the AHL, 12 goals in 16 games. And between the Islanders and Toronto, 11 goals in 41 games. Went back to Newmarket in 91, 71 points in 60 games. But only a short stint in Toronto, 2 goals and 7 assists for 9 points. Now, like many major stars or minor stars of the NHL, he usually found himself in Europe. From 92 to 94, he was in the Swiss A League. A lot of Quebec talent there, with Lugano and Davos. In 94-95, he split time with Team Canada International in Davos. Then he ended up with Rapperswil-Jona for 3 seasons. Went to the Swiss B League in 99, and ended his career with a short-term stay with the Laval Chiefs of the QSPHL. Now, even though he only scored 25 goals in the NHL in 119 games, we remember him fondly because he had good presence on the power play, good presence on the fourth line. But his speed, that was very prominent, didn't translate in the top flight 20 goal a season NHL game. I think in 2020, again, I talk about that, he'd be a good fit in the modern NHL. You put him on a good fourth line player, an experienced forward, even Chicago, the Vegas, they had similar offenses to Montreal of the 1980s. But for those 3 seasons, he was kind of a nice aperitif to some of the established Francophone stars, and he was favored by a lot of the fan base because, going from the IHL to the NHL in only 2 seasons, Flint was a good team, but like I said, quite good. But I saw him with Toronto, and he was a good fit to Toronto. He almost had a point-a-game pace in that second half of the 89-90 season. And, like I said, I like to see Austin Matthews play with Thibaudeau. Thibaudeau knew where the net was. And, for a short time as the NHL, he had skill. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. And just remember, a lot of Montreal Canadiens players had success in the NHL and internationally, not as drafted players. This is what happened, ladies and gentlemen. In the 70s and 80s, he drafted players that went nowhere. But in the mid-80s to the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of the free agents were paying off, which doesn't really tell you much about the scouting, does it? You see it on one level, and you fail at the other. Anyway, the information's there for you to find it. And, by the way, like, comment, or subscribe. Please give me any requests. Well appreciated. Have a good evening. Bye.